Hey guys, Dave from Nerdarchy, 4 nerds by nerds, hang out with this nerd.
Nerdarchy is Ted.
And today we continue our series, Don't Use This Ogre, Use This Monster Instead.
Jump down to the description below where you can sign up for Nerdarchy the newsletter, get weekly gaming tips, as well as learn how to game with Nerdarchy.
So a lot of you guys have suggested a ton of monsters to use, don't use this, use that. And so one of the ones was an ogre. So essentially what we have to do is we have to boil down what exactly does that monster mean to us. And for me, what we're looking for is basically like the enforcer monster.
Mm-hmm.
Your bruiser. They're not going to be, they're not going to be the necessarily in charge. They're not going to be the brains of the operation.
But you're looking for something that
It's tough.
That's tough. It's going to be able to take some damage and be able to certainly dish it out.
So you have your ogre. It's a large giant. It's chaotic evil. They're easy to hit with their 11 armor class. They have 59 hit points, and they don't have any really notable features other than the fact that they get a +6 to hit, and they do 2d8 +4. So they're probably going to have a good chance of hitting a low level party, and they hit hard.
Absolutely. So let's break it down. What are some interesting options to choose instead of the ogre?
So again, we basically went with, well, what can we use? It's the same CR and can kind of come up and fill that enforcer role. And this is a monster that I've used in the past. I enjoy using. Nate the Nerdarch loves this monster. They're weird. They're creepy. They're aberrations. Now they're not quite as big and hulking, but I think they can definitely take on that enforcer role, and that's a Nothic. They're a medium aberration. They're neutral evil. They're harder to hit than an ogre with a 15 armor class, 45 hit points. So they're not lagging that far behind. They get a couple attacks, but even combine those attacks, they don't quite do as much as the ogre, and they're not as likely to hit. One of the things they do have though is that rotting gaze, so they can look at a creature and do 3d6 of damage. 3d6 is necrotic damage to them if they fail a saving throw. But that's an all or nothing. They do have a couple things. They have keen sight, so they're not likely to be surprised. They have a handful of skills, compared to the ogre that doesn't have any. And also, really, something that's worth noting is the fact that they have true sight out to 120 feet. So this is going to be a different kind of enforcer monster, and it's actually fits the role nicely though, because if you have a boss monster and this is the guy that's supposed to be watching his back, with he's got a perception check and he's got true sight, so he's probably the guy to have standing over your shoulder. And might have to rough people up.
No one's casting invisibility and sneaking up on the big bad with one of these guys standing around.
No, absolutely not.
So the great thing about Nothics, they're aberrations.
Yes.
So a lot of aberrations you can use in the Underdark, but you don't necessarily have to. It's smaller than the large ogre while still being able to pack a punch. It's got that gaze attack, and what's the reach on that?
It's 30 feet. They also have another interesting ability that works out to 30 feet as well.
And what's that?
Basically, they can look at someone, and the target must make a contestant's charisma deception check against the Nothic's wisdom insight check. If the Nothic wins, it magically learns one fact or secret about the target. The target automatically wins if it's immune to being charmed. So essentially, and it's got a +4 to its insight, so it's got a chance of doing it as well. So this is just a really cool enforcer monster that's going to be super helpful to a boss. And it also, they have a +5 to stealth, so it might even make sense to have them kind of like hidden doing their thing, and checking things out and looking out for the boss's best interest.
So, like I said, they're aberrations, so you're going to find them in the underground or the beneath or the underdark, however you want to refer to it. But you don't necessarily have to. You can use them just about anywhere. But when you've got that tight confined space and your ogre just isn't going to fit, these guys easily fit there without a problem. If they're going where your party's going, these guys fit.
Yeah, they can absolutely be there, and they do speak a language. They speak Undercommon, so they're not going to be super easy to communicate with for the party. But that being said, there's something to be said for that as well, because if they're in the open and like there's the encounter happens, and maybe it's not a combat encounter initially, or maybe it won't be one. Maybe it's just a powerful NPC or an NPC that uses one of these guys as their enforcers, their guards. He starts speaking to them in a foreign language, and the players have no idea what they're saying. That can kind of work to put them at ease and help build the tension in the scene.
And as always, the stuff that's in the book is a suggestion. There's nothing to say that you couldn't give this guy common or another race specific language if it's going to work out best for your role playing.
Right, in addition to or instead of. Yeah, that's absolutely fine.
So I went with Azer. Azer, however you want to pronounce it, the elementals that look like dwarves with fiery beards and hair, and it's a little bit of a twist away from what normally is for this, because these guys aren't evil at all, but they're lawful neutral. So it could be very easy that you just set up some story that a contract has happened, and voila, doesn't matter for the good or the evil of it. There's a contract. These guys are going to do it. They're the enemies of the Ifrit, and therefore you've got all kinds of interesting things that you can do with there. But let's get into the mechanics of it. Ogres had decent amount of hit points, but a crappy armor class. These guys are the other direction. They got a 17 armor class for a challenge 2 monster. That's not small in the least, and only 30. But they've got 39 hit points, so they're not being one-shotted at all. So you've got a better chance of the party missing them and still have the staying power. But the awesome thing is if they get hit with a melee attack, they're dishing out damage. They're doing a D10 fire damage every time someone touches them or does melee damage to them if they're within 5 feet. The few chances that you've got that polearm with a reach, they're gonna be avoided. That's gonna help mitigate their small difference in the amount of damage that they do. But they swing for a die 8 plus 3 and a d6 fire damage. So unless you got those tieflings and red or gold dragonborn running around, they're still going to take the damage. And so that's close to the 2 die 8 plus 4 that the ogre was swinging. But these guys, even though it's not listed in their proficiencies, it says they're like master craftsmen. So there's nothing to say like, oh, well, they could be hired to build something, and the players come upon this and they're in the way. Well, you guys can't be here. We're building here, and they don't want people around when that's going on. So they're elementals. They're cool. They can still dish out damage. They got lots of armor class to work with.
You kind of glossed over something that I feel is a little bit important.
What's that?
And that's the fact that there are elementals of CR2.
Yes.
That means they can be summoned. So that just kind of goes back to the fact that they're awful neutral, and that's totally irrelevant. They have to work for whoever summons them.
That is true.
This is a fantasy game. Sure, like there's certain mechanics as far as summoning goes per spell, but because there's a spell that does summoning them, why couldn't you just say they've been summoned indefinitely or whatever? Or maybe they're bound by an item or something like that. But they are a summonable creature already, so it's kind of written in there that anybody could use these guys. They could be chaotic evil, and they would just have to do what it says, and they may not like it, but that's the way it is.
And that could actually, work to your advantage if you actually go into the role playing as opposed to the combat of it. They could be like, well, this is what we're required to do. If you don't interfere here and stop this, then we're free.
Yeah, and exactly, like that is another role playing part, because it could literally be doing this against its will, and it's kind of stuck, but it's like, hey, what do you want from me? This is all I can do. If you can break the binding or the contract, then I don't have to fight you, and if there's more than one, you can free us. So it may create a moral quandary for your players. In the sense that, oh, like this guy is fighting us against our will. He's our enemy right now, or he's our opponent technically right now, but he's not necessarily our enemy.
Right.
So like the players, could be kind of just murdering some poor guy, some poor schlep that's got sucked to the prime material plane from the elemental plane of fire. He just wants to beat on his forge and make another Azer out of bronze or brass or whatever they make them out of, and get on with his life, but he can't because some jerk wizard, or druid got fancy with the magic, and now he's stuck on the prime material plane. And what if it's someplace like, I'm just like envisioning now, like I want to use them and they're like in the Arctic or something, and they're like miserable, because it's always cold, everything's melting around them, they're always stuck standing in water. Like it's just a bad time. Literally, like maybe that's even why like the wizard summoned him, is because like he's like a walking space heater.
Stand here and keep me warm.
Yeah, literally, like
that's all you want. Are you serious?
Yeah, it's just insult to injury. Are you kidding me? I'm going to so murder you with fire for this if I could just break free.
So, and the other thing that's great about these guys is like your ogres are dumb. They're stupid. Yeah, it's going to allow for some trickery that's easier to pull off on your role playing characters who want to use deception. But these guys, like they're pretty much stat junkies. They've got 12 intelligence, 13 wisdom, 10 charisma. There's literally no negatives across the board. I think it's just a win-win situation.
Both the Azer and the Nothics are like that. They have good mental stats, so they're going to be a little bit more versatile than the Ogre, where the Ogre you could probably trick them. Where these guys are going to be a little bit smarter. I mean, the Nothics are kind of like cursed arcanists, is like in their backstory anyway. So yeah, they tend to be smart. These guys are smart. It's just going to give you a different kind of feel to the encounter and change things up.
So, like the Nothic, these guys have listed that they only speak Ignan, but if you want to actually go and put the role-playing in, there's nothing to say that you couldn't give them, a language that's necessary. They're not dwarves, but, there's no reason why they couldn't have Dwarven as homage to their creation, or whatever it is that you want to do. But both Azers and Nothic have far more role-playing capabilities than what you're going to be do with the limited Ogre.
We could do don't use this, use that with a monster you guys supply down below, just like we did with the Ogres. While you're there commenting, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.
You can check us out over on nerdarchy.com.
So until next time,
stay nerdy.